centralized exchanges played a very important role in onboarding users on chain, right? Because if you come from fiat, you need to figure out how to go from fiat into crypto. Now with stablecoins, of course, it has become much easier. I believe that the moat and the regulatory arbitrage that centralized exchanges had mastered to become so dominant, that kind of gone now. With regulatory clarity, now everybody, right, in most jurisdictions can get a license to offer fiat to stablecoin conversion at a 1-to-1 rate. And most of these companies are not charging fees anymore. They're saying, well, I'll give it to you for free because I'm going to sell you a bunch of other on-chain products, cards, loans, trading. And you plug into this global on-chain economy where you can send money or trade assets on-chain. You can basically now trade US stocks 24/7 on-chain better than on some US stock exchanges, right? Liquidity is still obviously, thin and it's fragmented, but we'll get there. And so I think that centralized exchanges, some of them, of course, have launched their own chains and so on. But, there's always room to disrupt, and Hyperliquid is a prime example. And I do see that more and more players that start from, okay, we'll use on-chain infrastructure, will perform better over time than centralized exchanges moving from centralized to on-chain. And the reason is that once you're centralized, what's your interest to make everything transparent? Why, you have to migrate all your existing systems on chain. And typically centralized exchanges, they have their own chains, but they run in parallel. It's not like Coinbase or Binance have put their entire operations on their chains. No, they run them in parallel primarily to keep users and basically bootstrap their own ecosystem and as a way to make more money. But then if you launch an on-chain exchange, well, proof of reserves, it's by default there, right? Nobody asks Uniswap, where is your proof of reserves? Because it's all on chain. And I think that by definition, it just means that over time, players that come from on chain that enter the market now will just outperform legacy players that basically struggle to keep up because of how they're set up already.